Hey there, Imagineers. Welcome back to Building Disneyland in LEGO Week 47. So I got a ton of progress done this week, so let's just get right into it. There's so much to go over. So I think what I want to talk about first is this is all new space right here for me to use. This actually, I was very stupid, and what I did was this whole section right here, you see, excluding this, is all one piece. It's all put together, so that means I cannot take it apart or anything like that unless I start ripping everything up. But you know, it's gonna be very hard to transport this, and that is the mistake I made. I just sensed a great mistake in the Force when I actually realized that. So what I ended up doing was, for this new space, which I needed, because I'm going to be going in here so I can expand this building, which I showed last week, I made this whole new section, and this is one section, and then the next one will connect to this. So basically I use this axle piece, which you can see right there, and there's this Technic axle in there, and that's like the axle hole brick thing, and that goes in there, and then it connects to another one on the other side. So it works really well. I'm going to try to move some of this off, which I will be going over later. Okay, so right here, I'm just going to remove it. I totally recommend you use these instead of like the normal one with the pin, like the circle pin. It removes a lot easier, and it still works really quite well. So that's really nice. I'm really happy with it. Looks good. So that's the new space, and how I got this new space, which is the next thing I want to talk about, is what I did was I removed Pirates of the Caribbean from this side, and now it's on this table where my UCS Millennium Falcon used to be. I've placed that in a different spot. Good God, that is dusty. So yeah, I moved this over here, so now I have space available to build more stuff over here, so that is really nice. Now I want to talk about some other things. So the next thing I'm going to go into in this video, and probably the most interesting thing to me anyways, this right here. Okay, what I decided to do is I decided to redo this part because, you know, I was looking at it, and this was basically on the roof. I'm looking at this thing, and it's like totally screwed up. The roof that I had up here, this whole section anyways, was not big enough, so I had to increase the size, and that is what I did, and it looks so much better. You can kind of see it there, and I also tore up everything down here. I just tore it all up, so I'm going to be redoing this. I'm not done yet because I kind of ran out of tan bricks, which I actually ripped this up, and I got quite a few to rebuild it. So this whole section is like a mess. That's like the aftermath of me ripping it up. But I also ripped up this whole section right here because that part is over there, because I wanted to redo it because that did not look good to me any longer, and I need to change the angles, a whole bunch of stuff. I basically screwed this whole thing up, and I am going to redo it now. So I'm just going to start right here. I'm going to get right into it. So what I have here is I'm just going to get right into it. This has all been redone. This is actually kind of from the last thing, the last structure I had put up, but I saw that there was not two doors here. There was not a double door. One side was a window, the other was a door, so I ripped that up. And then this part, which I'm actually really happy about, this looks really good. This is like a little planter, and it looks really nice. I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. It looks really good. It's very simple, but very interesting. And I really like the planter in the bottom right there because I have like a bunch of weird kind of plant pieces in there, and it looks good. So moving on, I had to create an angle right here for this window, which you can see right here, and that window looks quite nice. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I just have a simple little window. It's actually, it's got an angle kind of similar to this window right here, except I did have to shorten it because I only wanted one stud length sticking out. So I had to do some things to change that. And then moving on, this is the last section, and that is this little part right here. So on top of that, of course, we go on to the balcony, which you can kind of see right here, and that is nowhere near being finished as of now. Probably next week I will have it done. I'm not totally sure about that, but it looks nice. I basically just have similar to what I had before. Basically, that's all it really is. And I have the window right there with the shutters, which I'm using that technique I usually use for the shutters. Overall, right now, it looks pretty nice. So the next thing I want to go into is how I tore this all up. So let's get into that right now. So what I did exactly was I ripped out the Blue Bayou, which the entrance to the Blue Bayou right here anyways. That's like pieces of it. I just want to redo it. I just thought to myself, I was redoing that over there, and I just decided, you know what, might as well redo the Blue Bayou too, because it's really kind of in the same area and I'm not exactly happy with it. So I decided I was going to go back and redo it. So that's exactly what I did. I just tore it up, and I'm going to be redoing it. Maybe next week you'll see it. I'm not totally sure about that. Probably though. But let me get into the other building I decided to redo. So I really did like the bottom section of this building that I had built before. Whoops. So what I decided to do was I just decided to reuse it and just change some things in the bottom, because I did have to make it a little longer. That was one of the problems about it, and so I did that, and I added this new window section here. These pieces are not in sand green. I do not even know if they exist in sand green, and if that is the case, I'm gonna have to end up spray painting them, which I've done with Lego before, and it works well. Not the preferable thing for me to do, but if it's necessary, I will go ahead and take that step. And then also this right here, I decided to redo as well, because it didn't really work the way I really wanted it to, so it looks a lot better. And that is basically what I did to the bottom section. Very similar to the way it looked before, but it definitely looks a lot better, so I'm excited for that. Now I want to move on to the balcony, which I also demolished and started working on. So that is what used to be the top section. It does not look good to me at all, so that's why I am not using it any longer, and that's why I decided to go redo it. So this is the new balcony. I did not redo this yet. I will be getting that done next week, but what I did was I have the railing for the balcony done, and this looks good. This is kind of something I wanted to work on the Haunted Mansion, which did I say that? I think I told you guys this last week that I demolished the Haunted Mansion, but one of the things I wanted to do was achieve the interesting looking railing where it kind of goes up like this. And that was definitely something hard to achieve, and I'm actually happy with the way it turned out. It looks good. I did not really know. I knew I wanted to use this piece right here, this railing piece. I knew I wanted to use that. I just did not know exactly how I'd get it standing up the way I wanted it to, like this, and it worked out. So let me kind of turn it here. I just broke this off. I'll fix that later. So it's actually very simple, extremely simple actually. It did not take me too long to do it, I guess. So what I'm using this brick with clip piece. If it'll focus, you can see it there. And basically what I do is I have the tile section of that, this piece right here, clip into it like this. You can see it there. It just clips into it like that, and I have it on a jumper plate, so it's offset, and it is flush, and it works well, and it looks good. So I'm happy with the way it resulted. I did not want to use that on the other sides because I felt like it was going to be seen from down here, but it's actually hidden and it's obscured from view, so it looks really good. I'm happy with it. I'll probably carry over this design to the Haunted Mansion, but the problem about that is I don't think these exist in sand green, and I do need to change this all into sand green, all the railing pieces, because I do not have them in sand green. I'm not even sure if they exist in sand green, and it's supposed to be sand green, so that is kind of the design for this, and I'm happy with it overall. So that is it for this week. I feel that I got a lot of progress done, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that this week. So next week I will probably have all the projects done that I want to focus on, which is of course this whole section back here. So if I can get that done next week, I will be happy. So that would be great if I could get that done next week. By the time you see this update, it should be post Brick Fair, and post Brick Fair means that I should have some more pieces for Disneyland to build. So if that's the case, that would be really great. So if I can get some more pieces, that'd be really awesome. So that is going to do it for this week. Have a magical day and a great big beautiful tomorrow. Till Aspire.